There are some things that I would say that I was able to accomplish. One is being able to work full-time. I got my master's degree in social work. I think getting married and having a daughter is sort of a very different kind of, I don't know if you can call it an accomplishment. Well, I guess I thought of sort of two possibilities for the future when I was younger. One was that muscular dystrophy would be cured by the time I was in college or by the time I graduated college. It kind of kept me going to think that. And but when I thought about the idea of going through the rest of my life with Duchenne, it was hard for me to imagine that I would find someone who would want to take all that on by marrying me. And I'm still sort of surprised by it sometimes. But I guess you never know. The idea of having a baby was, it was definitely a struggle to make that decision, because I think it's very hard to lose a parent at a young age. But Jessica and I thought long and hard about it, and it was something that we both wanted. You know, we thought it's going to be hard, but we'll figure it out. Helen is 6 months old now, almost 7, and seems pretty happy and well-adjusted. So it's working out well so far.
I'm Gimbel, and I'm about to be 26. I live here in New York, and I'm a graduate student. So my focus is in philosophy, theology, the Bible. I'm sort of all over the place. I always went to mainstream schools. That was my parents' decision. They wanted to sort of give us as close to a mainstream education, and I'm very glad that I had that experience. I have many good friends who really understand my disability. It doesn't matter if you're standing up or sitting down. You can have a very full, active life and participate and do all the good things that you can, and also get into trouble on your own too, which I did my share of as well. Not being able to walk or not being able to do things, it sometimes doesn't register as a loss in the same way that it might for someone else. But I'm glad, in a sense, that I held on to things, because it enabled me to keep my body working well for longer, which was great. And sort of just eases that transition, when you realize that when something takes you, for example, when it takes you 20 minutes to put your shirt on, you might start realizing that you need to ask for help. With the muscular dystrophy, you have to say goodbye to different abilities, and that's just a part of life, and it becomes natural. Just as when someone becomes elderly, they lose abilities, and in our case, it happens much earlier, and you become accustomed to it. Just as, I guess, old people are accustomed to being old. So it becomes natural, becomes normal. To walk, that's a major moment, maybe the most difficult adjustment. But beyond that, once you're in a chair, if you can't, lift weights with your legs, it's not the end of the world.
I find you get very used to your body being in one state, because the progression is so slow that things sort of creep up on you.
Sometimes you get this doubt, like, oh, I should have kept going. If I kept going, I would have still had it. But you realize when something becomes difficult that, okay, I can let it go. And often you ask, what's wrong with your legs? Or, what happened to you? And disability is different than how it's experienced, certainly. So, I mean, if every morning I woke up and realized, wait, I can't move, maybe I'd freak out if I wasn't used to it from the former day.
I sometimes try to defy expectations. I don't like to be pigeonholed or people to assume that I'm a certain way because I'm disabled.
I use a BiPAP ventilator, which I really need to sleep comfortably. Enables me to take deep breaths and basically not feel constricted during sleep.
For a lot of high school and maybe a little of college, I thought that I was going to be a rock star when I grew up. For some reason, I don't know where I got this idea, but I just really enjoyed singing.
I think
I'd always dreamed of going to Germany since I studied the language as an undergraduate. And so there I was. We were up north in the island of Rügen, and I was there with my father and someone who was helping me. And that's it, it was just the three of us. And as soon as I saw, the ocean right there, I said to myself, I have to swim here.
I can't really sing so much anymore, but I do play around with trying to make music on the computer.
All of a sudden, we hear this screaming voice, and it's a lifeguard yelling at us in German. Because think about what she sees. These two men dragging this pale, lifeless body out of the water on a raft. I mean, God knows where they found this guy. She might be thinking all kinds of things. So she comes running. She's yelling in German. My dad is like, Tommy, you better talk to her because I don't know what she's saying, but she looks pissed.
we went.
Sit me up. And she's just looking confused. And I look at her and I just say, Wir sind verrückte Amerikaner. We're just crazy Americans. And that was enough for her, I guess. She was like, okay, and left, and they got me in my chair. Actually, at that moment, the raft popped. After its ordeal, I just couldn't take it. So it popped, and we just started laughing, because the whole thing was just hilarious. Sometimes kind of look at yourself not as sort of a tragic story, but maybe as a comedy.
Has its privileges.
Good morning. I am feeling well and enjoying my day being filmed for a documentary, period. I hope that this documentary will be useful for others to learn about living with a disability, period. Go to sleep. Very important is the technology that I rely on. So obviously my computer allows me to read, to write, to communicate.
So basically, I just move the mouse around with my mouth. When I want to click, it's a sip and puff. So I just blow on it just very softly, and it clicks. And if I breathe in, it does a right click. I can also type in Morse code, so if I breathe in for a second, it'll beep. And then I can actually use Morse code to type.
And the knowledge that with assistive technology, you can overcome a lot that you wouldn't have been able to overcome 30 years ago. There's a lot that one can do, and that knowledge gives hope.
Another thing I want to accomplish is just to live as long as I can and have the best quality of life that I can.
The physical.
So here's the place. We have a kitchen right in here. So, and then here we have the main room, which is also my room. I have my bookshelves, my desk. This is the room where the guy who helps me lives, and in my bathroom.
I have 4 different assistants right now. I have one person who just does Tuesday and Thursday evenings after I get home from work. And I have Brandon, who's here today, who does the weekends.
It sets my mind at ease. I don't have to worry about being left in a jam because I know that I have help. I have someone who's sort of looking after me, which is very assuring, very helpful. And he accompanies me to class to drop me off there and pick me up when it's over, brings me the lectures. Without them, I guess my life would be very different. In the face of difficulty, adversity, there is, great reason to live and love and enjoy the world and to have humor and joy. And those are available for everyone. Independent, I'm, happy, and I have, friends. I do what I want to do. I mean, I really don't feel that I'm held back.
It's the same things that anyone wants. And that, I think, is to be loved and to be with people you love.